Hello everyone, welcome to the Rust section of the course. In this video, I'll briefly go over error handling in Rust and show you the differences between recoverable and unrecoverable errors. A recoverable error can be handled in some way, allowing the program to continue execution. These errors use the result type with data inside the OK variant and an error inside the error variant. We could handle these errors by using either a match keyword to match on both error and success cases or a question mark operator to propagate the error to the outer function. For instance, a file not found is a recoverable error which can be handled by displaying an error message to a user or creating a file in case of an error. An unrecoverable error is one that the program cannot handle or recover from, and it will cause the program to terminate. These are also known as panics in Rust and bugs which cannot be handled or situations that the programmer did not anticipate typically cause them. There are several risks with panics. Panics cause the program to terminate abruptly, leaving the program in an inconsistent state. This can lead to data loss or corruption, especially if the program was in the middle of modifying important data when the panic occurred. In other scenarios, panics might lead to a whole program crash, which can lead to denial of service. Overall, it's important to avoid panic whenever possible and to handle recoverable errors in a controlled and predictable way. Here is an example of a recoverable error. We are trying to open a file test.txt, but since it doesn't exist, we get a file not found error. Since it's a recoverable error, file open returns a result type with file inside of OK variant and error inside of error variant. We can handle it by using match keyword in the try open function and then using the question mark operator inside the main function to propagate the error outside. In this example, we are using panic, but in the real world, we could have just printed the message to a user or created a file instead. All right, so let's go to the code to see some more examples in action. So in this example, we are trying to open a file test.txt using open function. Since open function returns result type, we are using match keyword to match on result type. And if everything was all right, we are returning a file and printing its metadata. And if there was an error, we are printing a message saying that certain file cannot be opened and printing the built-in error coming from the file open, and then afterwards we're exiting the process. Pretty simple. So let me just run this piece of code. Yeah, as was expected, test.txt cannot be opened since there is no such file in our file system. So yeah, let's move on to another example. This example is exactly the same as the previous one, but instead of using match keyword, we are using question mark operator. Again, we're trying to open a file test.txt, but since it doesn't exist, we're going to get error back. The only thing that's different from this example is that we have to add result type to the main function. Otherwise, question mark won't work because it has to propagate the error to outside to a function that also returns a result type. So yeah, let us run this piece of code. Let's see what we get back. Yeah, as was expected, we got no such file or directory. The only thing is that we are getting built-in error coming from file open instead of building a custom error message as we do here. All right, thank you for listening. See you in the next video.